Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and we're going to be predicting the 1.6 banners that's going to come around. Of course, in 1.6 that's upcoming. We guessed the previous 4 stars, and how is my track record going? We actually managed to predict in the previous video, the same one that we did for 1.5. We predicted Danheng, Ireland, and Serval all coming out on the same patch, and I even made a comment in that video saying there is a chance that I think all 3 of them could appear on the same banner, but I don't think Hoyoverse will be that ridiculous to put all 3 DPSs in one. But true enough, we actually did see every single of these 3 DPSs coming out with Huo, which is insane. Unfortunately, Pella didn't come out. She was gone for a while. I thought she would maybe appear in this banner, but she didn't, to boost up maybe some more supportive role other than Huo. But Natasha was similar. I predicted Natasha because I felt that the banner might need a bit more sustain. They might sell Argenti with a sustain unit. Concept was similar because what came out, or Lynx was the one that came out, so conceptually I think it's close enough. But 1.6, we're going to look to improve that prediction, and I think I'm quite confident of my prediction for this one, but let's see how it goes. Overall, let's talk first about what we know. Basically, Danheng coming out here tells me that they stick very strictly so far to this 7 cycle missing rule. If a character hasn't appeared in 7 cycles, the highest chance that they will come out in the next one. No one has gone to 8 yet so far. If I scroll real quick, you see like once Hook even got to 6, Hook appeared. Danheng is the longest one. Tingyun also reached 6 and then she appeared. In this case, what that tells me is a character like Natasha, who hasn't been around for 7 patches, is likely going to appear in Ruan Mei's banner. So I think this is the first possibility. And other than that, if you think about it, if she's an Ice Harmony character, there is a high chance that another character that could come out maybe is an Ice type kind of unit. My thoughts is March 7 might be one of the units that is on the table, but maybe a defensive unit is questionable. But I do think there's a high likelihood that she could come out. But if Natasha as well as March 7 comes out together, I don't think it's going to be a very popular banner to sell because there's a lot of sustained characters. In that situation, I do think a character, for example, like Pella is going to be much better to sell this banner, especially if she's Ice Harmony. You get an Ice Nihility character. You have a banner like this, I think is already looking very strong, and that's my personal opinion. But March 7 I definitely do think can come out, so I'll put her probably in the second half here to appear, and that's my prediction so far. I would like to see a bit more Ice characters come in, especially with an Ice Harmony unit, just maybe for a bit more synergy. March 7 hasn't been around for like 5 patches, and if she doesn't appear here, it's like 6 and 7, so which means she's coming out at 1.7. I think the chances are quite unlikely for that. Other characters that I think Ruan Mei banner might have now is probably a DPS. If you have a character like Pella or even Mark 7, so this one I think can go either way. It can be here, but I don't think they will put these 3 characters, in my opinion at least. It just seems a little bit too balanced. They might want to add in a bit more DPS, since after all, Ruan Mei is more of like a supportive character, being a Harmony type unit as well. Pella I think can be a bit more damaging, so I think it makes a bit of sense why she could see here, but I think they could easily switch. Like, these 2 could be either one of the banners, I'm just not too sure which one right now. A DPS that hasn't appeared in a while would be Tingxue. Tingxue hasn't been appearing in like 3 times. Other than that, if we scroll down here, every character is like only 2 times, or even like Sampo is like 3 times. So why do I keep saying that? Is if you notice, like the fastest character that comes back is 1, 2, 3 usually, and like Lynx came back. Characters like Sampo is the only exception, where he is only 2 banners in between. He came out for Kafka's banner, and he came out again for Jingliu's banner. But other than that, he's the only one that came out very quickly. And that tells me that any character who appeared, for example, like Hanya, likely will not be appearing for these 2 banners for sure. And for example, Gui Naifen, the chances of her appearing here in the first banner is quite low. But we need to know like more of their kit in order to like understand what characters might form and fall in line, because I think Hoyoverse does care about that. DOT tends to come out with DOT characters and stuff like that. But the nature of it, sustained character or supportive character, I think will be met with a DPS nature, and I think a character like Hook. Oh my god, I didn't actually went to break apart that image, so I'm just gonna do this out of laziness, pure laziness. So I think these 3 characters likely can make a good showing, but it does seem a bit strange that it will come out as the exact same order here for Hook as well as Pella. But I do think there is a high chance, because we still need a DPS here, and it makes sense to sell Hook in this banner because you have already a very strong character in Ruan Mei already that's going to sell the banner anyway. So it looks pretty decent, quite balanced, not super OP, not super bad. Of course, the OP one would be like this one here in 1.5 second half. This one is like pretty mild. That's my predictions for version 1.6 first half. For the second half, for Dr. Ratio's banner, it really depends on who's the partner 5-star coming out. I think there are many options available that could come out, but we'll talk about that in a bit. My thought process is, if Pella is here and Mark 7 is here, because it could really go either way, I think that likely the characters that are going to come out, of course, other than a character like Xue would probably be a character like Yukong. So far from what we've seen, Yukong has only came out when the banner character here is an imaginary unit. If you see Luota here, Yukong's first appearance, Imbibitor Lune, her rerun, so also one of the only characters with like 2 spacing gapping. She hasn't been appearing for 5 patches already, and Dr. Ratio will be like 6th, 7th. If she doesn't appear here, means that Luota would likely be in 1.7 first half in order for the 7 cycle rule to appear, which is why I think the highest chance of Yukong is appearing here, which makes probably a Yukong Xue together with Mark 7 kind of combo in the second half as well, which makes it a pretty interesting one because she's quite strong. Mark 7's E6 is pretty versatile as well, and Xue is a new character for us to consider too. So I think the second half looks to be quite good, and that is my thoughts for the 4 stars. But now let's go on with the most fun one, is the 5-star predictions. We got it wrong the last time, unfortunately. We thought Jingyuan was going to come out, but here Silverwolf came out instead, likely because they needed something to prop up the 1.5 sales. Argenti was like kinda okay, didn't really do too well in marketing. Sustained characters are generally quite bland in total, so I think they wanted Silverwolf to boost up the spending because a lot of people wanted to get her. Maybe didn't join so early on, only started later on, like 1.1 second half and thereafter, and they're looking to pick up a very strong support. We'll talk about more about these characters, meta, who to pull for, investment value in other videos that we do always on the channel. Check that out if you're more interested in those kind of opinion videos. This one is just pure guessing based on like whatever we can find on like fluff and trying to make an intelligent guess, but ultimately it's just really a prediction video because it's nothing to do with leaks. I have no superior information compared to you guys even. My thought process is very strange that the drip marketing came out here of Ruan Mei, Dr. Ratio, and Xue all on the same day, which means there is a possibility, because if you see the banner cycle so far, all of these characters came out with like one drip marketed, the next day is the other 5-star, and then it's always the same, like 1.1 second half will be the 4-star which comes out drip marketed the next day, and it has been the same for all these like past 6 months all the way to 1.5. 1.6 they did it a bit differently. I don't know whether it's because they want to put everything out on the Halloween kind of drip marketing, but either way, there is opening a possibility that it could look something like this. Maybe all 3 characters are in the first half, and maybe here's a double rerun in the second half. Why might that be a possibility? If 1.7 is Panacony, if they don't like delay with more filler content and stuff like that, they likely want players to at least have a while to save in this section over here. At least going into Panacony, you can spend more because you have more savings as well. It does help look their branding be a lot better in terms of marketing if you have your players reach an all-time high in spending and stuff like that. So I think that is a possibility of not releasing a new character in the second half. In that case, means there is a possibility of a double rerun. So we're going to talk about that. The obvious choice right now, if we see the pattern, is Zila, you have Silverwolf. So it does make sense, I think, that Jingyuan is the highest likelihood of coming up. Also because you have a very popular character like Ruan Mei, and you have a male character like Dr. Ratio, pretty good balance so far. In here you saw like mostly is waifu characters, so I think here they are trying to show a bit more balance, maybe to make the patches a lot more balanced. They might put Jingyuan here so they balance up the male and female ratio, at least how it has been. Also because it's a DPS character, makes sense to have like if you like his design, you want a hunt character, you can go for Dr. Ratio. If you don't want, you want a more erudition character focus, you can go for Jingyuan. There'll be new sets coming out, hopefully some of them buff these characters as well. So maybe with the new sets, new videos coming out of people doing a lot more damage with Jingyuan, I will definitely do more videos on that on the channel. Maybe it might spice it up for people to pull for him in the second half in 1.62, but we'll see how that goes too. My thought process, I think high likelihood that Jingyuan is coming out. If he doesn't come out, I think the other character, of course, likely will be Luota to come out. Why do I say that is, if you have a sustained character here, it makes sense that Yukong is coming out here together for imaginary. If he's going to be like on the second half, she always appears on imaginary character banners, and it's a pretty nice, because if you want to sustain here, or you want a unit like Dr. Ratio, but I think the chances of Luota is going to be quite slim, especially since he is quite a popular character, quite high in demand too. With Ruan Mei here, I don't think they want to risk lowering the sales of the first half. They likely will put Luota in the next part. But based on my thought process, I think the highest likelihood will be Jingyuan. If they're really running a double rerun, we could see Luota. I don't think Blade Kafka would come out anytime soon. The characters that we see here and based on the storyline thematic doesn't make sense for them to come out. But then again, it didn't make sense for Silverwolf to be here either. So I don't think they care about the storyline for the second rerun character at all. At least that's what we are seeing so far. And that is my prediction video. So I lock in these answers. These are the 3 characters I think is going to be Ruan Mei. These are the 3 characters I think is going to be in Dr. Ratio's banner. I already shared some special thoughts of why I think it could be one-sided or why there are 2 faces here. Check it out if you're interested. Watch the rest of the video if you just skip to the end. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. We do this every single patch and hopefully we get it right. Just come back and see. Let me know in the comments below what you think. What are your predictions too? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.